in Springwater between St. Thomas and Elmer. My current job is at Shackleton Auction Center. I do all the shipping. It goes all over the world from all the sales. And I get to do a little bit of interior design on the side for certain people. I was a camper from 1983 to 1989. And it was mostly at girls' camp, but I did try a couple other ones, including Wilderness. And then from 1990 to 1994, I was staff, and I filled many shoes, counselor, craft coordinator, staff, something or other. And one of my favorite jobs was training the new CITs coming in. I had a hard time with this question, but I would say fulfilling or belonging, because especially as a teenager, I was a part of a team, or we were like a family. So I always got to feel like I belonged somewhere, and it was our job to make the children also feel like they were part of something. So through love, support, a good listening ear, the Word of God, laughing, giggling all the time, that just filled everything that I needed in my life and hopefully everybody else's. So I had some problems with this question too, but I would say, have you seen Jesus, my Lord? And From the Rising of the Sun. And then for the fun songs that we would start campfire out with, we used to sing A Lump Went the Little Green Frog and A Fly Flew into the Grocery Store. And they were the fun songs. So I started in Avon growing up, and then we moved to Tillsonburg, and I lived in a little village called Culloden on a farm. And we went to, as a family, to Springfield Baptist Church, and we had all kinds of friends from the Elmer area, and I've remained friends with a lot of them. When I went to Tillsonburg High School, well, even at camp, to get involved with the camp, my two friends were a part of a United Church, and they're the ones that introduced me to it. And we started going, and we went together every year as campers. And one of them continued with me on his staff, which is kind of cool. And then after I graduated, I went on to Fanshawe College. I got my interior design and my general arts. And then I had a business of my own for 10 years, doing wedding plannings and party planning and decorating. And I gave that up because I needed to spend some more time with my family. And now I'm at Shackleton's. I would say one of my best memories was actually the first time I dropped my oldest daughter, Allie, off to camp, because it had come full circle. So when I dropped her off, I'm pretty sure I pulled out of the driveway crying, just because I was so excited that she was going to get to experience what I got to experience. And then if you think back to when I was a camper or a counselor, it would go back to the campfires again. And I used to love how we'd start out loud, and then we'd finish off the night very quietly and sing From the Rising of the Sun. And then we'd walk silently, these 60 to 100 kids, up the hill to Vesper Point, and we'd have our Vespers together. And that was for sure the highlight as a camper and as a counselor. Okay, I have 3 that I wrote down, kind of 4. I'm not very good at narrowing down to one thing, Joe. So it's okay to step out of your comfort zone, which is what I'm doing here right now. It's okay to do that. Always be confident when you're approached with a new activity, and if you don't know how to do it, to definitely ask for help. But be confident enough to know that you're going to try it. And don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what's going on in other people's lives. So when you look at them, how they act, how they dress, not to judge them. You want to be there to support them. And something that my director, my boss at camp, had told me that I won't forget is saying hello or giving a smile to someone could be the highlight of their day. So always make an effort to do that. You could change someone's life. Okay, the best advice I would say I've just actually put into play in the last 5-6 years, and that was to give it to God. So when life is awesome, you thank Him and you rejoice. And when you're struggling, whether it's with financial or because you have 3 teenagers like myself or whatever the case may be, if you give it to God, it just sort of lets you breathe again, and you ask Him to help you. And I don't know, I felt like you could walk taller knowing that you had Him back you up. The funny thing about this is I love Christmas. I love Christmas. If you could see all my house right now, it's a huge thing. So this time of year, I am listening to Christmas music. I actually listen to it all year long. And I read any Christmas novel that has a happy ending in it. That's where I'm at. Now, on other days of the year, perhaps, when I open a novel, I love Karen Kingsbury. There's always a good storyline, but 9 chances out of 10, you still get a happy ending. So it's a great read for any age. So I would love to see Dawn and Diane answer it. Maybe they could do it together. And I think of the families. My sisters were also camp counselors there, so I think of the families that I would love to see do this as well. And there is Adam and Sonia Craig and their cousin Kathy. There was Katie, Andrea, and Betsy Baldwin. And there was Katie, Nate, and Christy McIntyre. And they all crossed paths with me while I was staff at Pierce Williams. I think for me, Pierce Williams made me who I am today because it did help me in all the ways I spoke about earlier. And it kept me out of trouble in high school because I was at camp all week long. I made some amazing friends, and we're not all real tight now, but we know where each other are, and that's huge. And it was a place where I knew it was okay to believe in God and not be teased. I didn't feel peer pressure the same as you do in high school. And as a camper, it was your only time where you didn't have your parents checking in on you. So you got to actually experience things because you wanted to. And you made friends, and you got to do things you normally wouldn't do. Like I touched a snake, or as a counselor, I chased a bat, or just crazy things like that. And I think those are the things we don't want to miss out on. No matter what camp you go to, those are the experiences that, the reason why you want to go, the reason you should go. It's huge too because there's even more electronics and stuff now, and kids are afraid to miss out, and like teenagers, they're afraid to miss out on things. So a lot of them aren't making that commitment to a week of camp or to the summer as a staff member because they're afraid they'll miss something in their day-to-day life. But I honestly believe you gain so much more by being at a camp that when you go back to the everyday life, you're a better person. So that's why I believe you should continue to support Pierce Williams. And yeah, that's it. The other things that I really like about Pierce Williams is you got to have kids with different special needs. I know as a counselor, I got to work with a boy who was blind, And by the end of the week, he was leading Campfire. And I will never forget that. And I got to help a young kid who struggled in a lot of ways. And we were one-on-one with him. And he went to camp forever. He became a regular at camp. But the first year, it was a major struggle. And he still fell in love with it. And so did his family. I also love that you work, I think you still do, work with Children's Aid, and you have a bursary fund. So people who can't afford to do the big fancy camps or do camp at all, Pierce Williams lets those kids come to the camp and have that experience and show them what love means and compassion and what laughter's like, and to feel belong to something that's good. And those are two reasons why I will continue to support Pierce Williams, is for those kids more than just the average kid.
Yeah!